It's a very beautiful evening, and I believe you're enjoying it. We are delighted that your eyes are on Church of Uganda Family TV. We welcome you to Flourishing Hub. This program is brought to you, and the main purpose of this program is to make sure that they preach to you the gospel of transformation, you as a young person, you as a youth. That is why it is centered around the young people being the best of what they can be. So you should be the best version of yourself. That is why Flourishing Hub is right here on Church of Uganda Family TV. Erin Austin Mukhalazi is my name today, sitting in for Doreen, who will be with us next time. And we are delighted to have beautiful people, guests here with us who are going to share with us a lot of things pertaining our topic. But before we go any further, I want to give them an opportunity to greet us. Of course, we have Herbert and Dr. Benta. We are delighted. Dr. Benta, we shall start with you. Kindly greet our viewers.
Good evening, viewers. I'm Dr. Benita Rumanzi. I'm the principal of Africa Preparation Institute, and I'm married to one wife and 4 kids. Thank you.
Herbert, it is now your turn.
Yeah, thank you for hosting me once again. Good evening, viewers. My name is Herbert Sabit. I'm the founder of Young and Flourishing Foundation Limited. And also, like my friend has said, I'm also married to a woman.
That is very important.
Yeah, and God has blessed us with 3 children.
Wow, that is interesting. So these gentlemen here are going to share with us a very sensitive topic pertaining a young person. The Bible says in the book of Ecclesiastes that remember your Creator when you're still young, before the dismal days come when you say, I don't enjoy this life. So this means there is something special about the youth. But we have also realized that the youths are a group of people that are used by everyone to achieve whatever they want. If it is politicians, they don't go for the old, they go for the youths. And we've seen a lot of instabilities elsewhere. For instance, the ongoing massacre in Congo. You realize that it is the youths that are on the front of this massacre. Even in Ethiopia of recent, it was the youths on the front. And in South Africa, it was still the same. So there is a very big problem with the youth that everyone wants to use them. They're like a stepping stone, but then when whoever uses them achieve what they want, they are left down. So today we are here to talk about a very sensitive topic, which is hope restoration among the African youths. Now, we are dealing with Africa because we want Africa to be transformed, and that is why Herbert and Dr. Benta are here. So we shall start from the very first thing, the broad problem. What is this plight of the African youth? I'll start with Benita, Dr. Benta.
Yeah, African youth, I think it is their time right now to think on how they can be self-reliant. Because when you look at what they do, they are being used without their knowledge. They didn't know that they are being used, but when you look at every politician, be it every political politician or whatever, I'm looking at the youth in Uganda specifically, who are going to the Arab world, who are selling themselves to kind of slavery, simply because they have nothing to do. But we are here tonight to help them restore their hope, to know that they have a plight that they can hinge on. Look at the youth who always capsize in the Mediterranean Sea, when they are trying to escape from Africa to go and look for greener pastures. But then, when you look at the opportunities that are available here in Africa, we can do without going abroad. You can stay around and know what you can do as a young person, and you build your capacity and you're able to survive on your own. But now the leaders who are using them to massacre themselves in South Africa, like you said, in Congo, what is happening right now, it is high time the youth wake up and know their dignity and know what they are supposed to do, and therefore they know that they are the leaders of tomorrow. They shouldn't be used that they wait for tomorrow. They are the leaders now. They should imitate their lives right now and use what they have to get what they don't have. So this is why I encourage the youth, is don't allow anyone to use you. You are very important. You're created in the image of God. You can actually do something that the world will look at. And
Dr. Benta, you talked about the youths being capsized in oceans as they are flying, as they are crossing
They are
to
freeing.
go to Middle East.
Yeah.
But of recent, the Civil Aviation Authority came out and said, it is on record that over 200 young people fly out of this country daily.
Yeah,
So
sure.
over 200 daily, and this is a very big number. So if all our youths are going out of the country, then what shall we remain with if everyone is going, everyone is going? Because 200 people every day. So those are how many? 1,400 a week.
A week, yeah.
And then a month, how many? Those are very many young people moving out of the country. But Herbert, what do you think is the problem? What do you think is causing all this?
Yeah, the problem actually is starts way back 400 years ago. In 1619, when the African slaves from Portugal arrived in the USA, I think that's where the problem began. We were enslaved, and later, you know, there came partition, scrambled partition of Africa. And even when we claim that we got independence, these colonials still want to govern us, and they know where to touch. When you don't have money, you still remain enslaved, and they don't want us to be economically independent. So we are still enslaved because we still think that those guys who enslaved us have a stake in our lives. That's why we keep going to ask them for help. That's why we keep going to, we are using their curriculum in education. I feel...
We also think that when you go to their countries, that is where greener pastures
That's where greener pastures, that's why they are being capsized in the Mediterranean Sea. But I think now the real slavery is not physical slavery, it's also mental slavery. So if I was to talk to the youth like now I'm talking to them, I think what we need to start on is our mental, how do I call it? We need to get rid of that enslavement mentally. I don't have a problem with the youth going out to, in the Middle East. If they were going out to as diplomatic to do good jobs there, but if they are going out and you hear they are removing their kittens, you hear they are going just for being a house girl and being you are a graduate, but you go there to become a security guard, a maid. Really, the challenge is that I will not blame the youth, and I will also not blame the government, the leaders. I don't want to blame anyone, but we need to look for practical solution. I think it will be a disservice in this show this evening if we don't discuss on what is it that they can do, the practical steps that the youth can really do to make sure that they are not being used. Like my brother has said, it is very disheartening what is happening in Africa, and we know that selfish leaders within and outside, they come to use the youth, being politicians, being even religious leaders, being anyone, they want to use the youth because one, they are energetic. That's number one, they are energetic and they have ambitions. And if you use them, if you use them to do the right thing, let's turn away from using them to destroy ourselves choosing them to do the right thing. So me, that's where I want this discussion to go. How can we use the youth to do the right thing? How can we call so and so to come on board, and from what we have planted in their mind, they are surviving. Today before this evening, before coming here, I received a call from a younger lady, and she amused me. She said, "I read your book, The Young and Flourishing. I read your book, and I wish I read it when I was in senior 6. Yes, she has already finished university, and she has been 2 years looking for a job. So she has told me from the book, I am going to enroll to study on mushroom making, and I know that I'm going to. After that, I'm going to start a business for mushroom, and I will be supplying in supermarkets." That's the exact thing I'm talking about. What can we do? She's going, and of course she has brought that idea. No one has brought it for her. She has thought, after reading the book, she has thought that I'm going to study on how to make mushrooms, and I'm going to be supplying it to supermarkets. Those are the things that we would want to do. We want to discuss this evening to make sure that the youth out there stop being misguided and misused. Africa, we are one. It's just that those guys came, the colonials came and just partitioned. They scrambled and partitioned. They just partitioned. They just partitioned our continent, our country.
To create the boundaries.
Now, I don't. Let me also not sound like politicians, but it is most likely why after Congo joining East African Bloc community, there is this fight. Why is it there? These guys don't want us to unite. We need to stand as Africa, not as now. The late Mama Gaddafi was talking about, every time we would speak about African unity, and you see what happened. So we need to stand. We need to stand up as African youth. If we are to fight, let's fight for unity of Africa. If we are to fight, so the fight should be, how can Africa be united? And how can Africa actually help other continents?
Not suppressing fellow Africans.
Not suppressing fellow Africans. Thank you.
Wow, this is so interesting, and that the conversation is getting hotter. So you talked about the hopelessness of the African youth, and probably this could be the reason as to why they are overused. This is the reason as to why everyone sees potential in them, that they can help them achieve what they're fighting for. But before we even get to what we can do and how we can help the youths, what do you think is the cause of this disillusionment, this hopelessness? Because you realize that someone is so anxious when they go to school, but by the time they graduate, they've already lost the hope. Someone is already thinking of a lot of things. Of recent, universities have just carried on graduations, and you realize that someone graduates, but they've already made up their mind. I can't do anything in Uganda, or I can't do anything elsewhere. My only destination is Middle East. I'm doing all this, but I'm going to Middle East. People are even selling land here in Uganda, taking a case study, to go to Middle East. What is the cause of this hopelessness? Because you said it is now with the mind. It is a mindset that people are adopting. What do you think is causing this? I will start with Dr. Benton.
Thank you very much, Adrian.
Yes.
What I see is the problem of Africa is that the youth, they were, like, the mindset shows them that they cannot do anything without looking at what the government is offering or what so and so is offering. So they have been groomed in such a way that they don't think by themselves, but someone has to think for them. And therefore, right now, I want to encourage the Africans, the African youth, that you can do something. Instead of rushing to the Middle East or to somewhere else, because of, selling yourself into slavery. It's high time you thought of what you can do for Africa. I would quote the president of America, Abraham Lincoln. He said, don't ask America what America can do for you, but ask yourself what you can do for America. So if we can adopt that as the youth, and we become very innovative, and we think to use what we have right here. We have a number of resources that we can engage in and use. But the youth, they need leadership. The leadership has left the youth behind. They just tell them that you are the future leaders, but they are not telling them that right now you are a resource, a formidable force that can work to make sure you become self-reliant.
So when you talk about
I would encourage, I would say that the youth, their problem right now is, they need to come out of that mindset of thinking that so and so is there to help them. They think for themselves.
Government here to young.
Yes, they shouldn't now be used to butcher themselves, to butcher other people. It is very much unfortunate when you see the young people being used to kill others. It happens as a result of unemployment, as a result of loss of hope, the hopelessness, but there is still hope that can be restored in this youth. And it is us, the leaders, to come up and help these young people, put them in groups that they can survive on this by themselves.
Herbert, why have the youth lost hope in everything? They have lost hope in their very leaders, the leaders they entrusted power with. They have lost hope in the education. They have lost hope in everyone and everything. And they think the only solution is to fly out of Africa and go, and whichever suffering they're going to go through doesn't matter, as long as they have left Africa. What do you think is causing this?
I think the youth are right to lose hope.
Hey.
Yes, they are right, because first of all, you spend over like 17 years and so in studying, from nursery to primary, secondary to university, or to other institutions, and the teachers, what they are teaching you is they are just preparing you to go and look for jobs. And they keep telling you that the key to success is education.
These days they have turned it. The key changed.
The
padlock changed.
The padlock changed.
Yeah.
So when you hear the stories, if when they go on social media, they hear stories on how so and so has spent 2 years or 3 years looking for a job and the job nowhere, what can they do? Because the education system has taught them that they cannot survive without being employed. They can't survive without being employed. The education system has not taught them that actually you can go to a community and collect garbage. Collect garbage, and every month house A is giving you 20,000, another house is giving you, if you have 20,000 houses around, you can collect garbage and get. The education has not taught us that. The education has not taught us that actually you can learn how to make mushrooms and supply in supermarkets. It has not taught us that you can make bread and supply. So what it has taught us is that someone who is clever to make bread should employ you, and there are very few people who are making bread. There are very people who are making mushrooms, and you are waiting for them to employ you. So to me, I think they are right to be desperate, and because why they are losing hope is they are lacking mentorship. People are not mentoring the youth, and by the way, now it is being, and I'm very happy about it. It is now a song when you hear people on radios, televisions, and they are talking about mentorship.
Yes.
Mentoring the boys, mentoring girls. So we lack mentorship, and if we focus on mentoring the young people, we shall get one by one. Actually, I don't fuss the numbers, though at Young and Flourishing we are targeting over 50 million young people, developing them into world-class leaders. That 50 million, we start with one by one. You don't get everyone on board at this time. Yes. You touch one by one. So I'm on the journey to helping the African youth, and I am happy that the people that have passed through my hands, they are there outside Flourishing. So mentorship, education, and also, like I mentioned, lack of jobs. Most people think that jobs are not there, and indeed they are not there, but work is there. Jobs might not be there, but work has never been. You have never failed to have work.
I think you briefly differentiate the two.
Yes.
Jobs and work.
Yes.
Because jobs are not there, but work is there.
Work is there. Job is going to so and so's farm. Going to so and so's farm, and you work. At the end of the month, they give you the salary. They take home, and work is getting looking for a solution. Going to a community where there is a challenge, and you look for a solution. And by looking for a solution, you are getting paid for that solution you have solved. So that is job. I mean, that is work. That is work. And by the way, you can work. You can work at home. You can work in the community. You can work everywhere. There are very many things you can do, and that's what we teach at Young and Flourishing in the mastermind groups. There are very many. There is a lot of work outside there, because if you see a challenge, you know that is a business opportunity for you. If there is a challenge, if you are in a discussion, you hear people talking about Arsenal and Man U and what, you know that there is a business opportunity out there. Maybe it could be people like sports, and you start like the way I started is Chibanda. Maybe you could. People started sports betting, though I hate it. I don't like it. I don't encourage any youth to go into that. But they see a challenge, and they make it into a business. Any challenge around there is a business. When I was, I think I had started in 2007. I went to this side of Nigeria, and I found there was no clinic. There was no clinic around. So I called my friend who was a doctor, and we started a clinic there. And the first month, do you know that I've never seen a business in the first month you get breakthrough? Yeah, you get profit. You break even, and you make a lot of profit. First month, because there was a need in that community. So what is the need out there that someone can solve? What is the challenge out there that someone can solve? That's what it will make the youth to differentiate between a job
and work. Wow, thank you so much, Herbert. And at this point, we shall take a commercial break. But when we come back, we are continuing with this discussion. And we want now to derive into the untapped potential of you as a youth. Much for watching Flourishing Hub, Young and Flourishing Hub. We are delighted that you're still on Church of Uganda Family TV. Edwin Austin Mukalazi is my name, sitting in today for Doreen, who will be with us and next time. And today we are looking at restoring hope among we, the Africans, who seem to have lost hope in our own countries or even in our own continent. And before the commercial break, we are really looking out for the problem. What could be the problem? And we came to realize that one of the biggest problems is lack of mentorship, but also the education system that we have, which trains us to study, graduate, write applications, go for job interviews, and sit in people's offices. But it doesn't give us room to explore our potentials and creativity. So in this particular segment, we are going to discuss and see what can we do as the youths, instead of other people coming to use us and then we start lamenting, hey, it's me who helped that one to be where they are. But then, what did you do to yourself? You who help others to go where they are, to go the heights they are in. Yeah, we are here with Herbert and Dr. Benta. So, Dr. Benta, yes, we now want to discuss about the potential, the practical potential of a young person, of a youth, the untapped potential that youths have that have not realized, that have not opened their eyes to.
Oh, thank you very much, Edrin. There is what we call population dividend. The population dividend is when you look at a particular category of the people and how they can be beneficial. When you look at the population in Africa, many are the youth or young people. So the young people can be harnessed. That is a population dividend. That is an untapped potential as a labor force that can be used to transform Africa from poverty, ignorance, and the diseases. So in this case, I would tell the young people, as they are their majority, let them not be used, as we said in the previous episode, but right now they look at the solutions to their problems in Africa. We have a number of resources. We have a number of natural resources, maybe more than all other continents in the world. So if we can utilize the mineral resource, the technological resource, the human resource, and the mineral resource, we shall be able to develop. In Africa, it is where agriculture can do better without even using the kind of mechanisms that other people are using. It is a shame to find that Africans, we are importing wheat from Ukraine. We are saying that the Ukrainian war has affected African economy and therefore we can't find food. No, it is a shame. In Africa, it is a place whereby the staple food can grow wild, like banana. They can grow wild. So if the youth can engage in agriculture, that is the practical bit. If they can engage in agriculture, they are a formidable force that can produce enough food for Africa and also for export. That's one. Number two, the youth, ladies, they can enhance the technological bit that is there right now. And their labor force is sold to the international market. Instead of them going to the Middle East or to Europe to work as house girls and maids, they can now go there as I would call it as, not expatriates, that is a big word, but they can go there as technical workers and a technical workforce. And in that case, I would say African youth, it's high time we woke up, look for the problem. When you solve those problems of Africa, then it will be commensurate with the payment. What you solve is what you reap. So that is what I encourage them to do.
Wow. So Herbert, it now gets to you. What do you think can be done to solve these problems that are affecting a young person, that are affecting the youths of Africa? Because the youths are the country's stronghold. If a country has no youths, then it doesn't have manpower, it doesn't have a creative minds, it doesn't have a lot of things.
On Saturday, I was discussing with my friend, she's called Sarah. During the lockdown, I was amused, and she's employed. I was amused during lockdown. She taught herself using YouTube on how to make a fashion design. She taught herself, and she went and bought a tailoring machine, and now she's making clothes. She's making those bridal something mishanana, those for ladies, and she's making money. Actually, she's too busy. You cannot now take her out. You can take her out because she's so busy. I was with her on Saturday and she was telling me, no, there is my mogore, she's waiting for her clothes. So, but she taught herself using YouTube. So we have, I can encourage younger youth, they used to do what we call self-skilling. Self-skilling. Yeah, these days you can even be a surgeon by teaching yourself on YouTube. On YouTube on how to, yeah, so self-skilling, there is a lot of information out there. What do you want to do? Which kind of information can you use that will help you to be self-reliant and employed? And number two, he has talked about agriculture and the practical bit for someone who is starting a startup person. Is an example I can give. My neighbor in a certain town, actually in Sinjiro, whom I gave only 100,000, and he bought 7 hens. He bought 7 hens after I had encouraged him because he looked so. He was of course very poor, but he had a banana plantation, and I gave him. He started rearing free rangers, these Chichiga Chinyankole hens, and by now I think he has over 30, 40. He sells each at 20,000, sometimes 25,000, and now he is paying his school fees. Yeah. So I don't know why the government does not see this. Why should you always spend billions and billions and billions, but just 100,000 I gave someone transformed his family, his entire family, just 100,000 transformed his entire family. So the practical bit, if you are, there is no excuse. And I normally say this, although people, they say that maybe I'm a sadist, that poverty is a mindset. Because that person, I have land in Bujuko, my neighbor, when you see his banana plantations, it is full, it is in the forest. The shrubs are so many. Now, I did my banana plantations, his children, his sons are stealing my bananas. Yet he has his rusuku, and it is too big, than mine is just 3 acres. But laziness, laziness, they don't have what to eat with such a kind of land. We can utilize land, whether it is 1 acre, whether it is 50 decimals, whether it is 12 decimals. You can utilize land and you feed someone. By the way, there is always someone who is hungry, and when you produce food, you make money. So when you see someone who is hungry, you know that's an opportunity. Like I mentioned, that's a business opportunity. Another thing is technical skills. I also have a construction company, and I got some time back. I normally get jobs in the banks, and you know their excellencies who is one of the most banks branding excellence is the top on the agenda. So do you know that I import the carpenters?
Importing.
I get them, those guys to do the partitioning. I get them from Kenya.
Why?
Does it surprise you?
It does.
Because when you get someone here, you will do shoulder work and you will lose the contract. So what you need to focus and learn and try to be excellent in what you are doing. If you are a carpenter, please make sure that what you produce is a top notch. No one else can do it. No one else can compete with you. But now these days, you give a carpenter some job. He will tell you that come after 3 days. You come after 2 weeks. it has not been done after character. Character is also one of the things that is dragging us behind. Even a tailor, if you have a tailoring machine, make sure that you only get jobs that you can promise what you can deliver. Promise what you can deliver. Actually, I normally tell people you should rather under promise and you over deliver. If you know that I'm going to give it within 5 days, tell them that I will do it within 7 days, and the 5th day you call him and you call her and give her the clothes as a surprise. That person will never forget you.
True.
Yeah.
And
So
they'll tell others about
and they will
you.
tell others about you. Don't. Recently, I was talking with some young people. I normally have discussions with young people. He was saying that I have. A decoration business. So I tricked him and I asked him a question that so if I have like 2 or 3 functions in a day, can you do them? He said, yes, I can do them. So you see, his mind is focused on money.
Not perfection.
Not perfection. Rather accept small and say, I can do this, and you do it so well so that you become busy. Because people will always look for excellence everywhere. If you excel in what you are doing, and if your mind is not on money and it's on producing excellent product or excellent service, then you will flourish. No doubt about that.
Wow, wow, wow. This is so important. So, just to ask you, I'll start with Dr. Benta. We have the parish development model. The government in the new budget has included a lot of money. In fact, the target group are the youths in this parish development model. Do you think this can be a solution to some of the problems of the youths here in Uganda?
Yeah, this is Church of Uganda Family TV. And I want to quote this scripture that is in the Song of Solomon. Whereby Solomon was writing, he said that, I am black and lovely, but my brothers made me keep their vineyard, and mine is not yet kept. So this comes in line with what Sabit Herbert was saying, that the neighbor has a banana plantation, doesn't take care of it, and then runs to his which is taken care of. This is exactly the problem of Africa. We have a lot that we can do, but we have not harnessed it. Then we look at those who have tendered for their vineyard, and we go and work in their vineyard. So the parish development model is very good if it has a good policy. I would think the policy is not just giving the youth money or women groups money to start up businesses they have not practiced or they don't know, they don't have experience about. It is good that they first invest in training them to get the skills and capabilities to utilize that money. Otherwise, if you just get the money, give it to this person who has never had experience in business, chances are they will dwindle the money because they don't know the value of that money. So they will just use it or misuse it. So I would appeal to the government or to the people who are involved in the parish development model. Let them invest much more in capacity building than giving people startup capital. Because the startup capital, you don't know how it came in. You know that maybe you buy the chicken. I believe the person you gave the chicken, you had to first tell them that this is how you do it.
Sure.
But otherwise, if you don't, people don't value the money they have not sweated for. I think this one you should know it. If you have not sweated for this money, you'll take it for granted. But if I have a brother dropped out of school some time ago. Actually, there were two. They dropped at the same time. One of them decided to cut the trees and burn charcoal. Burn charcoal to get the startup capital. Another one pushed my father that he should give him capital to begin the business. At the end of it all, The one who cut the trees and burned the charcoal, right now, he's a multi-time millionaire in his own way. But the one who got the capital from my father's hard cash, right now, he's still wanting. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. So I would say, money will not solve the problem. I'm not going to mention it like our leader said, but money will not solve the problem. But we need to invest in building their capacity first, and then they will be able to manage their own money. Like at Africa Population Institute, this is exactly what we are doing. We come up with startup groups, but we first tell them how to use the little they have to get what they don't have. We first teach them. If you get 10,000, you can begin a business. Likewise, if I get 100,000, I can still begin a business. And if I can get 1 trillion shilling, I believe I can also what? Start a business. So what matters is the level where you begin from. And we've seen the young people here in Uganda and in South Sudan and in Kenya. We've seen them begin businesses and they are doing very well under the mentorship of Africa Population Institute. So the Flourishing Hub is here offering the mentorship program. So the youth, it is your time to now utilize that mentorship. Sure. But if you request for just receiving money, it will not be a solution.
Herbert, you realize that in Uganda we have people who borrow money, loans from the bank to buy household materials. Someone gets a loan to buy chairs, or another gets a loan to buy a coffee set, and all that. Now, how about, because they have to repay this loan with an interest. And how about if they're given this money of the parish development model, which has no interest? Do you think this will be the solution to the problems that most of our young people are facing?
Let's be frank. We are 40 something million.
44 million.
Yeah, 44 million. And 70% are the young people.
Yes.
And how much money is being given per parish?
It is 17 million.
17 million. And you think in a parish how many youth are there? There's no money that actually, to me, I think.
But they are budgeting for 100 million per parish,
including corruption. What will be stolen? Let's speak the truth. I think parish development model. I have read it. I've read the pillars, and of course, mindset change is there. I hope they will focus on mindset change before they give out money. Mindset change, because now. We have had in Tandikwa, we have had Bonava Gagawale, we have had, so it is one thing that is coming. It's the same thing is coming in another word. It is the same thing that is coming in a different, but to me, I think the mindset change is very important. Like he has said, first train the youth. Actually, don't give them money. To me, I would not give them money. I would train them and show them how to get the money. Otherwise, when you give them money, they will say, "This is our vote," and that's what they have been saying. I saw in the papers, someone, was it in Kaseso Fort Potro, the wealth creation. They gave him a Frisian cow, and he killed it. He butchered it to sell and eat meat. Mindset change is very, very important. So parish development model, yes, it is good, because I read and saw there is a pillar on mindset change. If that pillar was not there, I would say it is totally wrong, because Bonawa Gagawale, Myoga, and what has been coming, and this is the same. But since it has mindset change and that training, I hope it will. And at Young and Flourishing Network, we maybe the government should look for us, because we are planning and where we have started in all the villages. In all the villages, we are creating groups of 5, 5, 5. And for us, we are not giving them money. We are training them, each one according to their talent, like the way the Bible says, each one according to their talent. We are training them, and they are progressing. You will hear that in Kapchogwa, you will hear that in Guru, they are young and flourishing youth that are changing the community, because we have trained them. Their mind is now open, that they can survive. They can actually make a lot of money even in their communities, within their communities. So it's not, don't give them pigs, don't give them money, don't give them, just give them knowledge. Give them knowledge, tell them that yes, you can do it, and show them how they can do it, and they will do it. They will get money, including even going to wash cars, going to dig for that money, and you get capital for yourself, not being given hard cash. He has given an example: someone who burnt charcoal and sold it and got capital, and someone who got hard cash. That is it. If you are given, like he has said, if you are given hard cash, you will start thinking they are buying me for my votes. Now,
or even appreciating.
They will say this is for the project. I don't want to mention here. They will say now this is for the project, and you know there is a lot of misinformation. They could normally call it radio cattle. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and the youth believe it. When they say now this money is from Hozi, they will say, okay, let's eat it. It's from Hozi, let's eat it.
It is our money.
It's our money. After it's our money. I think let's have the mindset change. That's why I think this show is here to help people, to help the youth out there, but also on ground. Those who are unable to watch Church of Uganda Family TV on ground, we are going there through the mastermind groups. Yeah.
Wow, that is very important. And as we wind up, what is your last message to a young person watching you right now? Yeah, a piece of advice to them pertaining, as we are wrapping up all this entire topic that we've talked about. We've discussed from 8, the hope restoration among African youths. So what is your last message to them?
Dear my brother, dear my sister, you are right to be hopeless, because you seem to, the environment around you seem to be unfair to you. But here I call you, come and join Young and Flourishing, and we shall help you. We shall make sure that you get what to do and how to do it, and together we shall transform Africa. And again, secondly, my brother, my sister, fight for the unity of Africa. Don't allow anyone, whether a politician or any other person, to make sure that you fight your brother out there. We are the same. You are Muchiga, you are Munyankole, you are Muteso, you are Gwandese, you are somewhere in South Africa. We are the same. Let's fight for the unity of Africa, and let's not allow anybody, whether colonialists, whether politicians, to disunite us. And together, surely that hope will be restored. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Herbert. Dr. Benta, what is your last message to a young person watching you right now?
Okay, a young person that is watching us right now on Family TV, there is a saying that says, if you want to reach far, if you want to reach far, run alone. But if you want to reach faster, run alone. But if you want to reach far, run in a group. So as Africans, we need to realize our problem is in disunity and in division. So the divide and rule policy is still on us. If they started with dividing Africa, cutting it into partition and scramble, and at the end of it all, they go back into even the countries they had already separated. They also divide here according to groups and according to tribes. And then you go even according to tribes, according to the step brother and step father. So we need to unite. That is the most important thing in Africa. So that if I meet a Congolese right now, I take him as a brother. If I meet a Rwandese, he becomes my brother. If I meet a South Sudanese, he's my brother. And there we know that our problem is the same and is common. Therefore, when we unite, we shall stand. But the more we keep on dividing, that is the fall of Africa. That's the reason why we have not been able to achieve much as Africa. I would end with this. Most of the young people are struggling looking for a visa. I am a doctor, I have a doctorate. But getting an appointment at the French embassy, I'm going to France next month, getting an appointment at the French embassy, it has been a tug of war. I had to use people in the IGU. IGU is the International Geographical Union, to write to the French embassy. But I had written and failed to get the appointment, thinking that I'm also one of the young people who want to run away from Uganda to look for greener pasture. But I am here helping Africans. And even what I will be presenting at the International Geographical Union in Paris next month, specifically is for helping Africans. So as Africa, let us stand and know our stake and unite, and together we shall transform our continent, and Africa shall be saved.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Benta. And in this whole discussion, one thing I would like to emphasize is self-skilling. We've had a lot of issues of recent where people are using internet the way they want. People are using a lot of platforms to abuse others, and they end up imprisoned over their own data. Why don't you use that data to learn a skill that is going to enable you flourish and you be someone, a better person, and you also influence others? Why do you want to influence others negatively? Influence them positively by flourishing. That is why we have Young and Flourishing Hub here on Church of Uganda Family TV. Thank you so much for watching this show. It has been a pleasure having you. And right on your screen is Issues at Hand. We sign out. God bless you.